Hello guys, and welcome back to the cheapest BMW 130i in the world. So in this video then, I want to be going over everything that is wrong with this car, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to find out exactly why this car was so cheap. So in the previous video I did take you around the car and pointed out a few blemishes in terms of the bodywork. Well, you could say the biggest thing on the car is the slight bit of rust that we have on. I say slight bit of rust, it's quite bad really. This wing does need replacing. I have decided that I'm just going to replace the wing either for a new painted one or a used painted one. Obviously you need to try and make sure I get a good colour match, because yeah, I think if you was to try and repair this, you know, if you was to sand it down back to bare metal, chances are there's going to be a few holes that need welding and all the rest of it, so it's just not worth it. Just stick a new wing on and then we'll be good to go. So I think that should be a relatively easy fix. Another bit of bodywork that needed attention was this side, actually, just this strip here. Very strange, it kind of all oxidized. Well, I have actually gave this all a good sand down with some 2000 grit sandpaper, and yeah, it seems to have come up quite nice. So I gave it a good sand down and then also a good polish as well, and for the most part it's yeah, it's great now. There is still a few areas where it is still oxidized, so just need to go over that again, but yeah, really not too sure what has happened there. But yeah, I'm really not too fussed about that. We should be able to get that good. Does need a bit of attention in the engine bay there. It basically just needs a good clean in here. It's just covered in road grime and dust, and yeah, a good engine bay detail should get this looking absolutely spotless, because I can tell all of the plastics are all in great condition. There's no rust, which is a common problem on these front slam panels. They can sometimes get rusty, and it just kind of lets the car down, lets the look of the engine bay down. So yeah, this is going to all come up lovely. I did mention there is a bit of oil down here. Now, is that the rocker cover gasket? I'm not too sure, but yeah, once we give all this a good clean, we'll be able to start up the engine and identify if there is any current leaks. I have a suspicion that it's not the rocker cover gasket, because the oil, there is actually oil on top of the rocker cover itself, and I think, well, if you have a look there, you can see oil around this oil filler cap. What often happens, especially on these M52 engines, for whatever reason, people open the oil cap, they then spill oil outside of the cap, it runs underneath this cover, runs down there, runs down the rocker cover, and then runs onto your exhaust, and people just assume that they have a rocker cover gasket leak. Don't get me wrong, the rocker cover gasket is very common for failing on these cars, but if it hasn't failed, then I won't be replacing it. If it has failed and it does need replacing, obviously I will do it, because it's not a very difficult job, and it's not an expensive job at all either. Another common area for leaks on these engines is the oil filter housing, but on this engine it actually looks bone dry, so yeah, probably won't have to do that. On this, looks absolutely fine. After looking in the service book though, I do know that it is in need of a service. So this car does have full service history. It's had a service pretty much every year: 2010, 2011, another one in 2011, 2012, 13, 14, 16, 18. What's that? No date there, but mileage was the mileage was only like a tiny bit more. Oh, it's just had a vehicle check, that's why. 2021, 2022, and that was 10,000 miles ago, and it's on 98,000 miles now. And yeah, these engines, I think BMW recommended every 15,000 miles or so. Personally, I wouldn't go any more than 10. It's done 10,000 miles, so we're going to do a service on this. I think I'll probably do a full service, probably all the filters, all the fluids, so the car is going to be golden for the next owner. So apart from needing a good service and the potential of 1 or 2 leaks that we will of course address, the engine bay looks pretty good. However, there is an engine management light on, which I'm led to believe is an O2 sensor, an oxygen sensor on the exhaust. So what I've done now is just gave the car a quick scan of all its modules, and we'll see which fault codes it's showing. So in the DME, which is the engine control module, we do in fact have some O2 sensor faults. Oxygen sensor heater before catalytic converter activation. Oxygen sensor heater 2 before. Oxygen sensor heater after. Oxygen sensor heater 2 after. Why do we have fault codes? Because that is fault codes for all 4 O2 sensors. That's very strange. The obligatory AUC sensor and rear window wiper blocked. Power supply has been switched off. That's just at least 3 xenon. Yeah, the lights work. That's just a historic. It's the one that's most important. Why are all 4? It's showing fault codes for all 4 O2 sensors. That's very strange. I wonder if we can just delete these fault codes, take it for a good drive, and then see if it clears them. Because I wonder if they're just dirty or something. It's very strange. How could all? I mean, that's either massive coincidence that all 4 have failed at the same time, or we have a different issue. Let's clear the codes. So yeah, all of them cleared absolutely fine. Now let's fire the engine up. The engine management light has gone off for the time being. I mean, just have a listen to this engine. Doesn't it sound absolutely sweet? And yeah, like I said, you can't see any active leaks. I drove this car about 100 miles home, and if you had a valve cover gasket leak, then you'd know about it because the oil would be dripping down onto the exhaust. Okay, so it's been running for a minute or so, and that engine management light hasn't came back on. Which is strange. And we'll just give the car another scan though to see if we have anything come back. So just doing a full scan of the car again then, and while that does its thing, I thought I would just investigate, do some research and see why we would have fault codes for all 4 O2 sensors. Like I said, it doesn't seem right that all 4 could fail at the same time, and I've actually think I found something. So if we have a look down here underneath the intake manifold, it's going to be difficult to get you in here. So can you see that right there? That is the wiring for the CCV heater, essentially, so the crankcase ventilation heater. Does that look burnt to you? That looks very, very burnt, and I think this car is not far away from being burnt to the ground. That may seem like an exaggeration, but now you're definitely not going to be able to see this. I can literally see the wiring in there arcing. Something has seriously gone wrong there. Now I'm fairly sure that this wiring issue is actually a recall in the US. I don't know if it is here in the UK. I think I do have a recall left on this car, but I'm sure it's only to do with the I'm sure it's just to do with the heater motor, not the CCV heater wiring. But yeah, that is definitely not good. Now, exactly why would that be showing the O2 sensor faults? I don't know exactly why. Just after doing some research, though, people have said that once they have sorted that issue, it's fixed all the O2 sensor faults. They said they've tested all the O2 sensors, they've been absolutely fine, they've swapped out that and it's fixed all the problems. So I think we need to get that fixed. And so yeah, I'm not even going to start looking at any O2 sensors, testing wiring or anything until I've fixed that issue right there. Now, there is one more thing that I can think that is wrong on this car, which is a bit annoying, but I think I know how to sort it. And that is the wipers. So if we go to apply the, sorry, not the wipers, the washer. The washers, they're just not working, so I'll go to, oh, that's supposed to be spraying fluid out there. Saying that, actually, I can't even hear the pump. I swear I did hear the pump before though. So this is what I think the problem is with that. I think either one of the pumps have failed in the washer bottle, or I think the washer bottle is blocked, essentially. Well, one of the filters, the little screens on the end of the pumps, I think they're likely blocked. It's a very, very common problem on the 1 and 3 series of these generations. If you leave the screen wash in the in the washer bottle for too long, basically turns to like a jelly kind of substance, and yeah, blocks up them filters. So has it blocked completely, and then yeah, it's eventually just burnt out those pumps? I don't know. I think first and foremost, I'll probably try the old removing the line and blowing some compressed air down just to clean those filters off, and then spray some fresh water down into the washer tank, see if that makes any difference. If not, and the pumps are still not working, then obviously I'll have to remove it all and take the pumps out and probably replace those pumps. That though will probably be in the next video on this car. So then, how do we think we're looking? I don't think too bad. I think we still got a very, very good deal on this car. Like I said, cosmetically it's pretty good aside from that rust on that wing, so we need to replace a front wing. Engine wise, engine run's absolutely sweet. Not much goes wrong on these engines, apart from, like I said, that little wiring issue down there that we desperately need to sort. I don't think the O2 sensors are bad at all. I think they're absolutely fine. We need to give the car a good full service, all the filters, all the fluids, just so that preventative maintenance is caught up with. Obviously the washer jets, they're not shooting out any fluid. And then again, just a minor problem, the steering wheel has definitely seen better days, so we'll probably look at sorting something with that. But aside from that, we have a very, very decent car. So I want to thank you all for watching. Remember to give this video a like, leave a comment down below. In the next video we are going to get on to fixing this car up. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you all in that next one.